For this video, we'll be looking at unit conversion, which is the system of metrics. So we'll be focusing on the metric units, so that like meters, grams, and liters. Now here are the initials of each unit. So K here refers to kilogram, kilo. So the kilo can be kilogram, kilogram, meter, or kiloliter. H here would be hecto, so that's hectogram, hectometer, hectoliter. D here, decagram, decameter, decaliter. M here is meter. And at this central point of meters, you can also have the unit of G, which would be the gram, or L, which would represent the liters. D here would be decimeter, deciliter, or decigram. C here, centimeter, centigram, or centiliter. M here, milliliter, millimeter, or milligram. So that's the general principle of how the table would line up. So you always write it like this. So a thing that I would have been able to learn while I was younger was this can be used as an abbreviation. So K can say, kick him down, mister, don't commit murder. Or you can always just interchange, kick him down, girl, don't commit murder. Or you can give a meaning for your L that you can remember it. That you can always write it in this form, KHDMDCM. Now, how to remember now? Each unit that are immediately beside each other is 10 units away. So here, if I should move from millimeter to milligram, to centigram, sorry, these two are 10 units apart from each other. If I should choose hecto and deca, those two will be 10 units apart from each other. So as long as you're able to remember that part, you know that each time you are going up, you'll be multiplying by 10. Now, how to use the table. So for example, say you're given a question to say, change 10 kilometers to meters for argument's sake. Now you are moving from kilometers to give you meters. So as I would have said before, each unit apart from each other would be 10. So you can remove the extra parts that you don't need and focus on what you need. So kilometers is here and the meter would be here. So you now need to figure out how many units are between. So you'll make from H to K to H, we know that's 10 units here. Moving from H to D here, that's another 10 units. And moving from D here to M, we know that's another 10 units. Now, even though you see 3 tens, you won't say 10 plus 10 plus 10 to say 30. No, it's multiplication. So each time you jump a unit or you move a unit, you are moving up by 10. Multiple of 10, so that's 10 times 10 times 10. So it's always being multiplied up here. So 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 10 is equal to 1000. So that's the first half of your table. Now, whatever unit you are given, you'll write that first, or the number that is attached to your unit. So we want to change 10 kilometers. So you write 10. Whatever answer you got from your table, you'll write it second with a little space between it. So that's 10 and 1000. Now, you need to ask yourself, am I moving from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, or from a smaller to a bigger? So, if you're going to the right of your table, you're going to a smaller unit. But when you're starting to go to the left of the table, you're going to be moving to a larger unit than what you would have started with. Now, in this case, we are moving from a larger to a smaller. So once you're moving from a larger to a smaller unit, when you get here, you'll always put a multiplication sign there. Always. Because from a larger to a smaller, you are going to be multiplying. So 10 times 1000, and that will give you 10,000. So it's saying that 10 kilometers is equal to 10,000 meters. So if you are applying the principles, so to say that moving from larger to smaller, you multiply. If you're going to be moving from smaller to larger, the opposite will apply. And the opposite of multiplying, we know, is divide. So if you get a question of this nature to say 15 use cm, So C would be centimeters, must be equal to, we are moving to meters now. Just move back to meters for this example. So we are moving from centimeters to meters. So we are going to be starting here, that's centimeter. Meter is here. So you are moving units one time, so that's a 10 there. We move a second time, and that's another 10. And as I said before, it's always multiplication between them. So you'll be multiplying 10 times 10 to give you 100. Now, once you do that part on the table, you'll come down, write the number that you are given in your question. Leave a little space, and then you write the number that you got from your table. Now, you figure out, am I moving from a smaller to a larger, or from a larger to a smaller? In this case, we are moving from a smaller to a larger. So from small to large, we will divide. And that will be equal to 0.15. So that's all you need to remember. So remember your table. So once you go into a conversion of units, you just start writing. If K kick him down, Mr. Don't commit murder. And remember, the M in the middle can be replaced with G or L. All of these would be kept. And remember that each unit, every time you move from one unit to another, you are multiplying by 10. And when you get to that part, when you get the number, whatever number you're given, you write it first, leave a space, and then write the number that you got from your table. And the reason you leave the space is because you want to really sit and look at the question and say, am I moving from small to larger? You don't want to just put a sign there in order to finish. You want to put the number that you got, and then you figure out which sign should be there. And it's always going to be either multiplication or division. So you can just figure that part out. So remember, bigger to smaller, you multiply, and small to large, you divide. So as long as you are able to remember those steps, you should be able to convert between the matrix units with ease, and no challenge will be there. So just remember, create your table first, use your unit, making jumps, multiply them, and get your answer. Then, after you get how much units are between them, you write the number that you were given in the question, write the answer you got from the table, and then you figure out if you should divide or multiply. And how to know which one you should do? Big to small, multiply. Small to big, you divide. And that's how you will get the answer correctly. So I hope this video would have helped you, and tune in again with Mr. Brown while I explain other mathematical concepts.